Hello and welcome to another episode of the DewatchPod. I am your smorgasbord.
And I am Jim G, and we're returning to Season 4 of Love, Death, Robots.
That's right. I think it is supposed to be called Love, Death, and Robots. That's what the plus is for.
Oh, yeah.
It's sort of stylized.
Cut this all.
We have watched a second episode called Golgotha.
Yeah, I don't know how to introduce this fucking episode.
Well, let's start by knowing it.
It's fine.
Yeah, no, it's 10 minutes.
It's enjoyable.
It's very straightforward.
Despite having rewatched it, I wouldn't rewatch it. Is the way I would put it, but it's enjoyable.
Yeah. And now that we have said that, the content warnings of a 10-minute episode are going to give away a lot. Having flagged that and given you a second to move if you want to watch 10 minutes of TV before returning to us, we have only one content warning: Alien Invasion.
One that seems to signal dark times for humanity. We are getting owned.
Well, at least on first glance.
Golgotha, I think, is a very simple episode to explain. We have Rhys Darby, if I'm not getting that actor's name.
Yeah, no, that is his name. He is from New Zealand, and extremely so.
He is the most from New Zealand.
And he is a Joe, like he's playing his regular character. He is a somewhat typecast man as a bit of a bumbling, buffoonish fellow, who is well-meaning and puts humanity in jeopardy.
Yeah, I think that's fair. He is specifically a Catholic priest who we are made to believe, I believe, that like some point in the past there was like an oil spill, killed a bunch of dolphins, except one of them later quote unquote resurrected. And he was there and being like, this is cool. It's kind of unclear to me what his role in the whole thing was.
Well, he's like the most priestly witness to the event.
Yeah.
And apparently he got swept into sort of the local news reporting a little bit. I think it's implied got into some trouble. I didn't actually catch the oil spill part, which gives it a bit more grounding.
Yeah. But specifically, like, this comes to the attention of the Lupo, who are these, like, aquatic aliens, sort of walking squid, I suppose, is the vibe.
Well, presumably mostly swimming, but it's like a big one-eyed sort of squid thing.
And they've come to speak to Father Maguire, as Rhys Darby's character is called, which I feels somehow maybe the most Catholic priest name I've ever heard.
What is that? Is that like a bit Irish, but not very?
I think so. I think it's a sort of like Anglified Irish Catholic name.
Yeah.
But they said like, hey, like they want to speak to you, and he has both a representative from the church and a representative from, I want to say, the U.S. military.
Yeah.
Be like, hey.
We see, like, I think he's a 5-star general.
Something like that, yeah.
Which is, I think, the highest one they have. And he's like, don't fuck this up. And the priest's like, don't fuck this up. And we have like a very severe priest going like, come on, man.
Yeah, he has like military chaplain vibes for like an elite squad going into an asteroid or some shit. It's good. And yeah, then he goes down. We also have some protesters, which, to be entirely honest, entirely unclear to me what the protesters are protesting for or against.
I think they're mostly saying repent.
They must have seen repent. There's one guy who screams, "God is not a fish," as he darts for Rhys Darby, and I'm like, okay. This feels like it should be illuminating, and yet I have gotten nowhere closer to figuring out what they're doing.
Yeah, no, it's just a good line, honestly.
I wonder if it is something about, like, the whole, like, oh, this dolphin was resorted, and people immediately went, like, are you calling the dolphin Jesus? Which does strike me as something that would happen in real life.
Yeah, no, this is sort of like old school sect energy.
Yeah, it's good, it's good.
And the octopus shows up in a pod, like, with extreme velocity.
Proper War of the Worlds shit.
Oh, yeah, no,
it's good.
It rips. and it's like, hey, and then like a clear like with like a voice generator, he's like, what up?
Let's have a
Has like a
chat.
very serene conversation, sort of walks on the beach. We get like a classic like Bigfoot tracks on the beach shot that's sort of like vaguely religiously loaded, but not in a way that's like exactly meaningful.
But
And
Jesus, why was there only one track on this part? It's because the squid was carrying you.
well, the squid has far more like visible tracks, so
Yeah.
that is sort of going on here a little bit. And he's like, "Oh yeah, no, this is roughly where the squid is." But sorry, the dolphin is,
Yeah, the
but
dolphin.
she doesn't come around all the time. Um, and
There she is, Blackfin,
yeah,
assumedly
titular.
dubbed from her oily death.
Yeah, I thought it was an orca for a second.
That makes sense.
And the priest communicates like very briefly. Um,
With a little chirping
sorry,
mechanism.
the octopus, all the octopi seem to be a theocracy.
Yeah,
Um,
they are designated as a race of priests by the
yeah,
Catholic chaplain boy.
and it's like, hey, briefly communicates with the dolphin, and it's like, all right, we've got the gospel. Um,
She said you have been killing her kind for
well,
generations.
I think it's even more simple than that. Um, and it's something along the lines of rapturous slaughter of those on the land by those in the sea.
Well, doesn't she say, like, doesn't the octopi priest essentially say, like, she speaks of a slaughter of those who swim by those who walk?
Um, that's a great question.
Because actually, I think the first time I was not watching this on the main screen the first time I watched this, and I do think I interpreted it the same way, and then I was like, no, hang on, I'm pretty sure they said that the walkers have been killing the swimmers, and that's what makes them go, well, vengeance! Because the thing is, very clearly, these octopi, I think a very interesting little bit that I want to talk about more is that, like, the octopi do not go like, well, yes, in our religion, it's more complicated than this. They just go like, nope, I do not question the will of God, capital G God, and
Yeah,
this is the Messiah,
yeah,
Blackfin.
and we have like big honking ships like emerging like from the clouds over the seas, and just like within like 2 minutes of the dolphin like speaking, like just start fucking blasting.
Oh yeah, like the
Um,
full world-ending laser shit.
like I think like the like severe priest like runs up to Father McGuire and is like, "What the fuck did you do?" And he like sort of like talks, and I'm pretty sure like by the end of like his sentence, the severe priest has been blasted, uh, and that's it.
That's it. With a final, I think we fucked up, being the final line of the episode.
Yeah, and so true, bestie.
So true, Bessie. It really makes you think. I don't think this episode is that deep.
No.
But it is fun. And like I do like, it's rare. I think it's become more common in the last like maybe 20, 30 years. But it is rare for sci-fi to have religious aliens.
Mm,
And it's especially rare for them to have it in kind of an analogous way to humans, right? Like I think
yeah.
this happens in fantasy too, right? Where like you get like the main religion, which is either usually like a Christianity analog or a Christianity aesthetics with like pagan gods, right?
Mm.
But then you have like the foreign, maybe just throwing out here, maybe East Asian inspired religion, where they go like, no, it's actually more philosophical than that. And that's usually what happens with sci-fi aliens, right? Where it's like, actually, we have this philosopher from millennia ago who put out the principles. Like, no, and these ones are like, no, dude, we have God. You guys have God. We have God. But ours is in the ocean.
Well, yeah, no, and the aliens do seem to be like, no, this is fish god.
Yeah.
We're specifically worshipping fish god, and they don't seem to be like opposed to the notion that this guy is a priest of land god.
Yeah.
Um, but they're like, yeah, no, we're fish god disciples.
I just think it's like very fun to see that. And like it's also the counterpart of these are very fanatically indicate, like they say very clearly, like whether they're the color is of priests, whether it's like a theocracy or whether they are all like this way or whatever. It's fun to see them be this like fanatical about it, but also be like, I'm not gonna get weird. Like we both believe in God, like we both have our faiths, and that's cool. We're not killing you because of your religion. We're killing you because you tried to kill our gods.
Something like that, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's not. They're clearly enacting vengeance on behalf of the dolphin, and it
Yes.
genuinely doesn't matter like which way the dolphin's commands go, because either the dolphin says kill them all, or the dolphin says they've been killing us all, and
Yeah.
the conclusion is the same.
Yes. Like I think there's always a tendency for stories like these to be very environmentalist in a, I want to say, a bit of a childish way, right?
Mm,
Like there's a lot of misanthropic alien environmentalist stories, right? Where it's
yeah.
like, yes, if the aliens came to our world, they'd be like, I can't believe you're killing all the squirrels. Well, that means humanity's unredeemable. Put down the planet cracker. And I was like, I feel weird about that, right? Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just more optimistic about humanity as a whole, but like most of us aren't doing the high end polluting and stuff like that. And so, yeah, I don't know. Like it's a bit strange to me when stories do that and feel smug about condemning all of humanity for the actions of the people in power.
I mean, like, if you look at humanity and like say you are an alien that has like a little bit of a different perspective on social organization, and it's like, yeah, no, these are like a whole body, these are like a
Yeah.
singular institution as a species, and we're going to judge them sort of consequentialistly. You know what, it comes around again.
Yeah.
And I think there is like the sort of there is something interesting, right, with the sort of different moral viewpoints where it's like, well, yeah, no, but like as a where like religion is sort of like dealing in these far more like sweeping moral generalizations, right?
Yeah.
Like where like, yeah, no, like if you want to like conceive of a reason why like a group is ontologically evil, yeah, no, like religion is the way to get there very easily,
Yeah.
right? It's like, yeah, no, this is demons, right? And that invites like a certain course of action.
It's a totalizing way of viewing the world, right? If you're starting to talk about like the purity of souls and stuff, right? Because nobody can prove that they're not as bad as you say they are. Like, and
Yeah,
everything can be dismissed as like, oh well, you're just lying because you're a demon, right? Like,
yeah.
I've been recently listening to like a podcast about the Satanic Panic, and that was very much like, well, you say you didn't do anything to these children, but on the other hand, you are a Satanist. We've
So
decided.
that's what you would say.
Yeah, exactly. It's very solid circular logic, and I think like I was also reading recently about like the Shinrikyo attacks in Tokyo, and
Mm.
like they had sort of like sort of like a Buddhist, very simplified, right? Like they had this idea that like um basically everyone who wasn't part of their teachings was essentially condemned to hell, except if they killed them, in which case it's good. And I was feeling that way about like as someone who's never like managed to get onto religion, and this is probably the autism speaking. I'm always like, if you do believe these things, why are you like living a normal life? Like, if you believe there is such a thing as eternal heaven, like how are you even slightly tempted by like doing drugs or anything? You know what I mean? Like it
Yeah.
just, I don't know. It feels very straightforward to me to just be like, okay, I guess I'll just like do as much as I fucking can.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, it's the rational human versus like the actual human, right? Like
Yeah.
the actual human is like, yeah, no, I will just like hold like 10 different truths, half of which contradict like some of the others.
Yeah.
And I will just like, keep going because I don't have like that much of a like persistent worldview. Like, and like most people don't, and it's like very hard to like have one and hold on to it, right?
That's why we spend so much time figuring out like the bridging mechanisms. I think this episode does have a little bit of that. Like
Mm,
there is a degree to which I think there is a guilt in the way people write these stories, right? About being like, oh, I am part of like in some small way at least, I am part of like a lot of bad stuff happening to the world around me.
yeah.
And perhaps I should be annihilated. Like perhaps our society should be annihilated.
Yeah, and like I think like if you think in these like as soon as you like adopt the logic that humanity can be a whole, and judged as a whole, like yeah, like we are doing more harm to the planet than good, right?
Yeah.
And like that I don't think that's an invalid or like easily dismissed viewpoint. It's just not very practical to the individual. Like
Or
it doesn't
productive.
well, it doesn't invite any course of action, right? You're like, well, um right, the conclusion is sort of like long come and gone, right? Like we fucked up industrializing and everything bad is sort of a downstream consequence of that.
Yeah,
And
yeah, like I want to say, I also think it's a case of like if you already have the sort of like totalizing worldview that allows you to say that humanity is a whole and it is wholly bad,
yeah,
it doesn't seem like that big of a step to go to annihilation, right? Like
yeah,
if you're already at that sort of radicalism in how you're willing to like push everything together, like I don't know, like having that radicalism to be like, and we have to pull the biggest lever we can, makes a lot of
yeah.
sense.
Um,
I do also want to one little point that I think distinguishes this specific story from other, like sort of these like pseudo environmentalist alien invasion stories that pop up every now and
mm,
then. Um, this is not industrialization. Like
yeah,
it's exacerbated, but like humans have been fishing since the dawn of time. You
yeah.
know, like they're
Well, I mean, fishing has gotten more violent.
definitely, and it's gotten like the scale is obviously much higher, but
Yeah,
there isn't like a point where it's like, no, like we crossed the moral line when we went from club to sword, right? Like we no, we just did the same thing more effectively.
well, I mean, I think the dolphin is a very interesting one, right? Because like modern fishing methods are like categorically more harmful to like specifically like sort of like cetaceans,
Yeah,
right? Like I think dolphins are like really high up on the list of like animals that have taken like a huge L from like just like huge fit dragging huge fishing nets like across the sea floor, right?
yeah.
Because previously they were just like the fishing wasn't on a scale that usually harmed them.
The moment you get like a dolphin on your hook, you go, not that one.
Yeah, no, like they're angry, mean bitches, and
Yeah, and they're very big compared to like the salmon you're going for.
like, and like, sure, they're not quite as hard hit by pollution as like seabirds, but
Yeah,
like they're like really up high, and like the like, yeah, no, like these animals specifically are both like smart and mean, and like have been like personally like as a group hit by the shit we've been doing recently. So like I think it's a like it's just like a very strong choice.
yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I do think, and I kind of want to get your take on this. Do you think the alien actually spoke to the dolphin?
Um
You know what I mean?
yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I think like I think there's I think the mechanics of the story are actually quite interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Um because it's like first of all, it's not alleging any religion whatsoever is true, right? It's just
Yeah.
like we have Father McGuire who's like clearly been browbeaten into like backing the fuck off of the notion that a dolphin was resurrected.
Yeah.
Um and like it's not clear whether he believes it anymore or whether he believed it at some point. And he definitely understands now that claiming to believe it and believing it is not in his interest, and he is sufficiently following his personal interest to just like abandon that, right? he's
Mm.
he's completely willing to cut that loose. um and the aliens, like, we have absolutely no reason to believe that they're like onto something like smarter than we are, right? We don't have a reason to believe that there's a cetacean god or whatever, or like an octopus god.
But
Um,
it would be cooler.
so like all there is to it is just like, hey, we interviewed one dolphin on whether humanity should live, and because of the circumstances of our religions, we're happy with that sample size, and boy, did it shake out badly for you, right? And like, I think I think it's not unreasonable to think that like animals as smart as cetaceans would just like have an opinion about humans.
Hmm.
And for that opinion for the most like fucked over dolphin to have the opinion that to kill them all.
Big fan of the alternative story here, where the aliens are not actually like priests or theocrats in any way. They're just like scientists who are very keen on pee hacking. 100% of our dolphin sample says humanity should be killed.
Yeah. No, and like for the episode, like I was like, we should do a little bit of research, and we did. We researched numerous topics.
I was opposed to the research. I want to put this out here. I thought it was a bad idea.
Well, listen. First of all, we have unfortunately learned that no Peter Watts works have made it into Love, Death, Robot so far, and I feel like this one is really the one where it's like, come on, you want to go there?
I
You want to be underwater? And I've read Peter Watts short stories. He's like he is a lock in for this show specifically.
all right.
But perhaps more importantly, I tried to like learn something about cetacean intelligence, and it's like, it's hard. It's hard to like lock anything down. So we mostly didn't. But I think like it's far from inconceivable that they are like maybe like on par with us
I mean,
in like
orcas,
some sense.
yeah, I mean, like orcas are conducting their own communist revolution against yachts in the Atlantic
Yeah.
Sea. You know, it just
And like every now and then there's like, oh no, we investigated whales and boy are they really smart. And you think back in history and you're like, oh.
oof.
So that's kind of like a genocide, huh? Not just like a general ecological like mass killing, but like, there might be like a cultural like violence dimension to this too.
There
And
has been like, I know there's been some research that does suggest that like once you get to like a certain intelligence level, there are like echoes of culture
yeah.
and like dialects and stuff in
Yeah, no, I
Wales.
think I think those are like just like broadly attested, right?
Yeah.
Uh, so like that's just like there, and like you don't have to go into like the like specifics of like language and tool use to go reach a point of thinking where like they probably like understand like in like broad terms like who we are and just like a little bit what we're doing.
I mean, that's how like fucking, you know, the megafauna that survived were those who evolved with humans because they were
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, no, keep the fuck away from those pieces of shit.
Yeah, no, like it's how great white sharks have like been in the water long enough to like see an orca and fuck off, right? Like that's like evolutionarily ingrained,
It's why
and
we are more afraid of snakes, and like we are much more keen to form phobias of spiders and snakes.
mm,
Like there's a, I don't know how to put this, but like a an evolutionary legacy of the sort of like species conflicts we've had.
yeah,
It's very strange, but it also makes total sense. And also, like on a more personal level, as far as this episode is concerned, right? This dolphin, like they describe it as like there was a pod of dolphins who got
yep,
caught in this oil spill. This was the survivor, quote unquote, whatever you want to do,
yeah,
resurrection or survivor. I don't know how dolphins work, but that might
yeah,
be their family, or at the very least, like
yeah.
friends
No,
in
I
some.
think so.
Yeah,
It's their entire social world.
yeah.
So yeah, no, like I think like that dolphin might like have the faculties to be like, yeah, no, like hate,
Yeah.
right? And there we go, right? It's been like the lottery has landed on an unlikely candidate, and that unlikely candidate is the worst possible one for us.
I also think like there's an interesting little omission here because like we get the whole Blackfin story about like the resurrection of the dolphin and stuff like that. We And it's clear there was like a media circus around it to some extent, right?
Mm.
There's everything we get from Father Maguire about like how he was like, well, resurrection is what the newspapers called it. That he's New Zealandic, in case you couldn't tell.
Yeah, no, I was really hoping we wouldn't go there.
I know, of course, that's why I had to do it. Else we would have been too politically correct and not mocking the New Zealand accent. People would have called us woke. Um, but yeah, like I think the thing that's missing there is like, because I guess I was imagining the first time I watched this, I was like, oh yeah, and that's how that was unintentional. I swear to God. Like I thought there would be a lead in where you would go, and that's why we stopped doing like oil tankers around here, or like this new reform was passed, and that's quite absent, don't you think? Like this is a thing that happens in human history, right? Where you go like, we have this, case study of this like
Yeah.
child worker who was fucking destroyed in the machines, and now we're gonna pass at least like one little law about don't put the child
Yeah.
workers into the machines for more than 8 hours a day. And that's progress.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that is really how a lot of progress is made. But not here, right? And we're like absolutely given no timeline. We just know that like apparently Father Maguire like sometimes comes to hang out with the dolphin
Which is
because he knows the dolphin spot.
yeah, it's a very interesting little personal detail, right?
And like he's not getting blasted.
Not yet.
So I wonder what that's about.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like
The octopus priest just goes like, well, I'm gonna go for a swim.
yeah.
Have fun on the beach, sucker. He's off. Or she's off.
Well, I don't know if those categories can apply.
I think octopi have genders. I think
Yeah, and it's true, and they're man and woman.
yeah. Man to puss and her to cut this.
I'm not gonna.
Obviously you're not. But yeah, no, like it's I think there's more you can dive into. I was just gonna say, like, if you picked this episode for your English lit class and you were like, damn it, I have to write 3 pages on this. I do think you can make like a little interesting case about like the two types of religion displayed here, which is the one we were talking about. Like Rhys Darby's more like pragmatic view in a way,
Yeah.
and her like the octopus priests quite fanatical, at least the presentation we get of it.
Well, I think it's like a religion that has to exist in society versus a religion that like is society, right?
Yeah, like I mean, we don't get any details about the octopi species really, but like that's
They're all priests, right?
allegedly.
Like at least the ones that have showed up on Earth are like either the entirety of like a, a priestly theocratic civilization or like a faction that's like uh just like that faction, and
Yeah.
that's and isolated enough to be like a somewhat totalizing institution. And like Rhys Darby's priest character is like the absolute opposite of that, like a guy who has to exist in the world and has to like media manage and like keep all these pressures like handled.
I think that there's also an interesting aspect just with the way, like, both the sense that it's very pragmatic in the sense that he has to be like, well, I don't really call it a resurrection anymore because, you know,
Yeah,
I
I've
got
been yelled at.
I got a lot of flack for that one. But he's still like it's a much more individualistic sense, right? The way he talks about faith is like, oh, it's my faith has been tested, and like I am a man of faith and stuff like
Yeah.
that. He it's a bit more abstract for him, and for the octopus priest, it's like, you know, the Messiah has spoken to me. Cue the crusade coming
Yep.
for Constantinople. And it's but they still kind of agree on the like testing part, right?
Mm.
Like there is still that sort of individualistic connection in a way. I don't know. I think it's like strangely kind of like an interesting view into
Mm.
different aspects of religion and how it can manifest in people and societies, right?
Yeah.
How it has to be managed and how it manages other things.
And, if you go by Christian symbology, like, oftentimes God is a fish.
Do you want to speak more on that?
Oh, it's just like a sort of funny Roman acronym.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were just making it about like the fish symbol.
Yeah, no, that's based on an acronym that
Ah.
spells fish.
That's so fucking weird, dude. You have to imagine that, like, if this happened in real life, not the aliens part, but the part where like we think Jesus has reappeared as a dolphin, and there was like a counter movement. There would be a lot of people on Twitter that would be like, "Well, there's a lot of fish symbology in Christianity, so this does actually make sense."
Don't drag me like this in front of the listeners. I'm not on Twitter. I'm not like that.
You're on Blue Sky. It's new Twitter.
Yeah, and it's not demonic.
You would post about like the Roman Twitter translation, or the Roman fish translation, sorry.
Odds are honestly somewhat low.
But they are there. For me, it's 0. Because I'm not a poster. You are a poster.
Yeah, you're a coward.
I'm just lazy. Yeah. I'm not a coward, I'm lazy.
But yeah, no, like that's... we do just have this very straightforward story where it's like, yeah, no, if you asked this dolphin, it would say kill us all. And
it's probably a good thing that like there's a very dark conclusion here. You can it's pretty good that a lot of minorities do not have aliens coming to listen to them about how the majority has treated them.
I mean, it is like to get like to take like 5 steps back for a moment. Like this is just like the like operationalization of the Rawlsian veil of ignorance to include dolphins, right?
Hey, aliens are coming to listen to one group of people on the world.
And you don't know which one. So what society would you construct to make sure that if they quizzed only one entity, they wouldn't go like, ooh, we should probably wipe these fucking people off the face of their own planet.
Oh no, the aliens have come to listen to the Hungarians. Vienna is no more.
But yeah, no, right, like, that is just straightforwardly, like, the actual, like, logic behind it.
Yeah.
And, it's a pretty funny way to do it. But I think there is, like, some amount of, like sense to it, where it's like, yeah, no, like, if you think about it from a certain angle, like, there are responsibilities we're shirking as a civilization.
Yeah, quite a few.
So
we can make a list.
I mean, I'm not confident that we could.
It would take a while.
We could narrow it down with like a lot of fault tolerance.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I also wanna like, because again, as I mentioned, animation is going to be a very central part of our journey for Love, Death, Robots. I want to say Love, Death,
this
and
one
Robots.
was live action.
This one's live action, except the octopi priest and the alien invasion and such.
Yeah, no, they did not get an alien to play the role.
It's pretty fucked up. Speaking of social injustice, am I right?
Yeah,
alien actors for alien roles.
All right, I think we've reached the point where we should probably finish.
I just think that like I think they do a very good like octopus priest. Like I think the alien invasion stuff is like it's fine. It's in the background. But like the sort of like movement of the tentacles and everything like that.
Yeah.
I was also a bit disappointed that this wasn't like more animated in a way, but like what is there actually feels pretty sick.
Yeah. And like the like big alien ships that start lasting are like pretty good.
They're still pretty good. I don't think there's gonna be a case where we go like, oh, that animation was a bit wonky.
Yeah, no, like they emerge from like the clouds, and it's like, yeah.
I don't think I noticed this the first time around, but when the alien ships arrive, there's like 3 clouds in the sky, and an alien ship per cloud emerges, and I'm like, okay. I mean,
like they were clearly ready to go like immediate war mode.
Yes.
And yeah, no, humanity did have it coming somewhat
a little bit
for oil.
Yeah, we really have to hope the aliens speak to the right animals, and I don't know what that animal would be.
Well, as
cockroaches. Like cockroaches and rats have absolutely grown a great deal.
Well, the good news is that at a certain navel straight. There is a carbon tax being implemented as we speak. So, things are looking up.
How long have you been trying to sit on that to get that in?
It's just been like in my mind more
Current
generally.
events, folks.
That's right. And, hopefully this will no longer be current when this episode comes out.
Yeah! Full faith on that one. And speaking of faith, I hope you will have faith that we will return next week, starting with Season 3 of Love, Death and Robots.
Have you picked something already, or will the viewers have to remain in suspense?
Suspense for now. I do think I know roughly, but I will wait until I have to.
We remain curious, and thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening, and see you on that other side.